Hi everyone, my name's George Farmer and this video is all about how I'm going to maintain this beautiful Aquascaper 600 Nature Aquarium. The tank itself is actually an Aquarium Gardens. The owner Dave Pierce has been maintaining this for about 5 or 6 months now. I originally set it up as part of a workshop here, an aquascaping workshop, which is really successful. Dave's done a great job at looking after it, so there's actually not much to do. A bit of pruning of the hygrophila pinnator feeder, a little bit of a tidy up of the gravel in the foreground, maybe a little bit of scrubbing on the rocks, and just a general tidy up really. Obviously a big water change, and I'm actually going to change the green E-Hine inlet and outlet to some glass lily pipes and clear hose, so aesthetically it's going to look a lot better. Also I'm going to be hoovering up some pest snails, which is really handy because I've just taken ownership of some lovely pygmy pufferfish, and they'll provide a lovely meal for them, so everyone's a winner. Okay, first job I'm going to do is just siphon out some of the pest snails, and I'll keep them in this handy container, take that home and feed my lovely new pygmy pufferfish. Okay, so I've taken most of the snails out there. There's still a few in there, but I can just pop in and siphon them out probably next week and use it as a food source for the pufferfish. So the next job is to remove this skimmer. I've switched it off already. Take some water out, clean the glass, and then I'll do the foreground. The sponge that's inside the surface skimmer will need a really good clean. I'll clean the impeller as well. You can see a load of the trapped plant matter there, so I'll give that a good clean. Okay, now it's time to empty some water out to make cleaning the glass. This is relatively new. This is a Dunelay cleanator, I think they call it. It's like a fine wire mesh on one side and then a sponge on the other. And the wire mesh side is brilliant for removing really stubborn marks, hard water deposits, etc. And it doesn't scratch the glass, so it's perfect. Really good. Getting rid of stubborn. You don't have to scrub very hard. It just lifts off the algae really quickly. And just a really simple way to check how clean the glass is to look end on, and you can soon see anywhere that you've missed. The glass is actually relatively clean. There's so much plant biomass in here. Algae is not really standing a chance. Dave and I have noticed a couple of nutrient deficiencies, especially in the hygrophila. So we're dosing more NPK, and I think the reason for that is we're adding a complete all-in-one fertiliser from the nutrient company, but because there's no fish in here, we think it's going deficient in particularly nitrogen and phosphorus, so we're adding more of that every day, just to make sure the plants are well fed. And a well fed plant is a plant that can fight off algae, and that's what we want. We want to look after our plants best we can. If anything, give them too much food, give them good CO2, good circulation, good maintenance, good soil, and plant growing should be easy. Okay, I've still got the filter running now, and hopefully that's catching any waste organic matter that's escaping into the water column while I'm doing this. And we always follow up. The last thing we always do in a maintenance session is the big water change, so it dilutes any of that waste organic matter that's escaped into the water. One big cause of algae a lot of beginners have is they'll do a load of maintenance. They'll maybe take some old plants out, they'll disturb the substrate, and that substrate has got loads of nutrients, organic waste sort of locked into it, and that escapes into the water, and that causes algae. So it's really important to follow up any maintenance with a water change. We've just got a loose bit of looks like Anubias pangolino. It's really small. We've got a few algae covered leaves on there, so I'm just going to pick them off. Hopefully that will help generate new root growth. And then I'll just pop this in somewhere where hopefully the roots will go down here, and maybe the roots will take relatively quickly. that's looking a bit worse for wear. Throw that away. Okay, so that's the glass pretty much clean. Just check the background, see how that's looking. It's quite hard to see with all these stem plants, but it's probably fairly clean because the stem plants are blocking most of the light from reaching it. So, which is good. Okay, so that's pretty much the glass clean. Now I'm just going to kind of give the plants a bit of a stroke. Sounds a bit weird, but all that's doing is just knocking off any collected detritus that might have just stored up over time. There's not particularly high levels of flow in here, so we need to just give the plants a bit of a brush with your hand, and that will just remove any waste organic matter that's collected into the water column, and hopefully the filter will suck it up, and then obviously finally we'll do the big water change. I think if I get time as well today, I'm going to clean the filter. Dirty filters tend to help algae. Basically you want to be minimising any excess waste organic matter, whether it's in the filter or in the aquarium itself. Bit of bucephalandra there that's come loose. Let's just pop that in there for now. Okay, it's looking a bit ugly, the hygrophila. It's a bit pale. I'm actually going to be quite brutal with it. But there'll be plenty of new growth coming from the old stems. So I've actually done a before photo, and I'll do an after photo, and I'll make that part of the video hopefully, and you'll get to really see the difference. Dave, the hygrophila is looking a little bit worse for wear actually.
Is it really?
Yeah. I think I might just get rid of most of it, and then the new growth will be hopefully really nice with the extra nutrients that we're giving it.
Yeah.
Certainly the red of the Ludwigia is plenty enough for the impact, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at the hygrophila. You can see the leaves are really pale. There's a lot of algae as well on some of the leaves, so it's a really good kind of indication that it's lacking nutrients. Certainly not lacking CO2 in here. We're injecting inline CO2, and as you can see, the other plants are healthy. The Ludwigia is doing really well, but for some reason the hygrophila is really suffering. You can probably see that staghorn algae build up on that leaf there, and loads on this one as well. So rather than just trying to sort of treat the algae and spend a lot of time and energy trying to fix your plant, sometimes it's just better to get rid of them, let the plant regrow new growth, because we're going to be dosing a lot more nutrients which will help it along the way. And you can see, I don't know if you can see guys, there's a kind of the rhizome there where the plant's grown from. I've cut it right back, but new growth should emerge from there quite well, because it's a healthy root stock. So it looks a little bit ugly at the moment, but in a couple of weeks' time you should see plenty of new growth. Okay, I'll just leave that. There's a little bit of hygrophila there which looks okay, so I'll leave that in there. Moss is doing really well. I'm tempted to trim some of it back actually. It's Christmas moss, which tends not to attach too well, so I'm a little bit loath to do much to it just in case it floats away. I think it looks okay for now. I'm just giving it a bit of a squeeze. That's going to just release any trapped debris. Got loads of shrimp in here, and one of the reasons the shrimp are doing so well, they're breeding like mad. One of the reasons that is because there's no fish in here at the moment, and so the shrimp feel completely comfortable and safe, which means they tend to breed a lot more. We will be adding some fish in here at some point, so more than happy to hear your suggestions, guys. Let us know in the comments. I'm a big fan of neon tetras. You know, they're a classic, old school kind of fish, but they're they're classic for a reason. I think the white, the blue would contrast nicely. and the red and the white and the neon texture would complement the white gravel and the red of the plant, so I think that would be a nice touch. Maybe mix it up with some other textures. I'm thinking lemon textures for a bit of yellow, and maybe some black neon textures for that nice black and white look. So I certainly wouldn't want to be adding more than 2 or 3 species of fish, and I'm probably looking at about 30 or 40 fish altogether. So it's about 100 litres, this aquarium. It is looking good. Okay, so at the moment that's enough kind of plant maintenance done. There's a couple of Java fern leaves with algae on, I'll just get rid of them. So to get rid of a Java fern, if they're actually really quite stubborn, so you just follow the leaf all the way down to the rhizome, grab like the stem that's coming from the rhizome and just give it a good tug. It should come away, and we can just bin that. Any unhealthy looking leaves, there's some leaves here with like really dark, quite a lot of dark black spots on all the way along the leaf, which looks unsightly, so I'll get rid of them. Java fern tends to overcrowd itself sometimes, and the leaves sort of that aren't getting any light tend to die off. So it's really important that you keep an eye on that and give it a good trim if necessary. Address any sort of circulation issues you might have. But yeah, just keep periodically thinning it out, removing the odd leaf here and there. There's a classic example of a poorly leaf that's been lacking light and CO2. So if we just get rid of that there we go, can you see that? Oh, there's another nasty one there. We're really happy with this aquascape. It's classic Nature Aquarium, classic Amano style. Nothing too groundbreaking, but just the nice colours, the nice textures. Quite low maintenance. The only fast growing plants in there are the Luggia. I'm probably not going to trim it until next week actually, just for the keep going till it reaches the surface, and then we'll give it a good trim. Okay, so just have a look at these. There's a bit of looks like it's trident fern down there, mixing in with the standard fern. That looks nice. Always a bit of a loose hygrophila there. Get rid of that. You can see all the debris coming away as I kind of stroke the plant leaves. That's really important to get rid of that debris, because otherwise that's just going to rot away and pollute the water, and then you'll end up with algae if you're not careful. Okay, good. That's pretty much the plant maintenance done. Okay, so next job is just to take a top layer of the white sand off, and then we can just refresh it with a nice new batch. Little bits of soil that have made their way forward, just suck them up as well. I really like using like a pale sand. It contrasts really well with the dark parts of the other aquascape. If you accidentally slack any shrimp up, you can always rescue them from your bucket afterwards. Keep an eye on your bucket as you're siphoning, make sure you don't make a spill, which I've done a few times before. What I'm going to do is just use our special cleaner at the front here. There's some real stubborn algae build up between the glass and the substrate, so I'll just give that a bit of a scrape. It's important to try not to get any gravel grains in between your cleaning tool and the glass, because otherwise you're just going to scratch the glass. Speaking of glass, this is what we call super white glass. So you've got regular low iron glass, you've got regular float glass, which is like a green, you'll see like a green tinge along the side there. And then we have low iron. Some of you may have heard of OptiWhite, which is the Pilkington trade name for low iron. And now we have the Aquascaper range have super white glass, which is even lower iron than regular OptiWhite, so it's super transparent. which is what we want as an aquascaper. We want the glass to be as clear as possible so it shows off our aquascape. Okay, I'll empty that water. There's a little bit more soil just to siphon up there, and then I'll probably just use a paintbrush just to tidy up a little bit, make it nice and flat. Maybe just a cup full of new gravel just to refresh it, and then I'm going to do a really big water change because there's loads of debris that's floating around, and we definitely don't want to have that in the water for any length of time, because that's just going to cause algae. Aquascaper, the Java fern, is exposed to the air, so it's really important to stop that from drying out, so we give that a spray. Interestingly, the plants are now exposed to the air, and so actually what the plant's doing, it's grabbing loads and loads of CO2 from the air, and you'll know that because when we fill up with water, the plants will pearl, they'll produce loads of oxygen because they're photosynthesizing super quickly. This light's actually really strong, the Twin Star 600E LED. It's quite a strong light unit for this size tank, and you know the plants are actually quite near the light source, so definitely expect loads and loads of oxygen bubbles being produced by the plants after we fill up with fresh water. Okay, so now we're just going to put a nice fresh new layer of gravel on. So just grab a handful and just offer it to the water, and then just sprinkle it along the foreground. You know, one of the potential problems with really pale gravel, it does tend to attract algae, and the algae is really obvious because it's so pale. So it doesn't take long just to give it a new fresh layer. You know, you can buy just a couple of kilos of this, but I think this is Denelay quartz gravel. You know, it only costs a few pounds for a couple of kilos, and that will last you, you know, a good few months at least, depending on the size of your tank. And it does really help transform the look of the aquascape, a nice fresh layer. It's all about that clean look, that contrast. There's something really quite satisfying about seeing the results. It's one of the great things about tank maintenance for me is that result you get at the end, that sense of satisfaction. You know, your aquascape might look good already, but hopefully by the time you finish maintaining it, it will look even better. And so, you know, I always recommend to people, you know, set as time of week, every week. You know, I do most of my tank maintenance on a Sunday. Hopefully you've got an understanding partner like I have who doesn't mind you spending a lot of your Sundays maintaining your tank. We did have a bit of piece of Philandra floating about somewhere that needed to be reattached. I'll probably find it a bit later on. Okay, so I'm just going to actually take a little bit more water out, because we have still got a lot of floating organics in there, and I'm a bit worried that we're going to run into a bit of an algae bloom. So I'm actually going to do quite a big water change in this one today, probably about 80–90%. Loads of shrimp are exploring the new gravel. That's the interesting thing about shrimp. They'll notice any change in their environment really quite quickly, and they'll come and explore, and that's why we're seeing so many shrimp on the foreground right now. So give that fern a spray, give all the other plants a spray, stop them from drying out. Okay, time to fill up with fresh water, and then we'll change our ugly green plastic pipes to nice fresh glass ones, and clear hose as well. Okay, so I've replaced the green hose and plastic inlet and outlet with beautiful glass versions and clear hose, so it looks a lot more aesthetically appealing, presents less distraction on the aquascape. Next step will be to top the aquarium up with water, probably about 5mm from the top, and then just net any of the floating debris off, and then we'll be ready to fit our surface skimmer. Okay guys, so that's the maintenance session pretty much complete. I just need to turn the filter on now, so that's really simple, just plug it in. It's an Eheim thermo filter, so it's got a built-in heater, which is great. So we don't want to be seeing a heater in the tank. And now it's just a case of fitting our surface skimmer. Okay guys, that's the maintenance complete now on the Aquascaper 600 Nature Aquarium. It's taken a couple of hours from start to finish. It's obviously taken a little bit longer because I've been videoing the process. But it just shows how, little and often maintenance is really good. Dave's maintained it very well over the months, and hopefully will continue to maintain it. I think this is a really good example of a long-term aquascape. Most of the plants are slow growers, apart from the Ludwigia in the background, which is a easy plant to look after. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and keep on scaping. Cheerio.